And I've sadly seen this where they have to pick up the pieces of somebody, they're putting it in a body bag, and they still end up driving around with that body bag in their vehicles for a couple of days before they can even bring it back. When they bring it back, they're just sent right back out again. But there's certain things that, training and the preparation and the rehearsal of things, like you're well aware of this with like trauma, but the reason why we do so many reactionary drills, so many rehearsals and practices is because your mind is going to have your ego has no choice but to allow certain details of the event that you're experiencing to come into awareness, like into your understanding. I have to repeat these things so often. I'm going to be exposed to these things. Like there's no prevention of that, right? But how I feel about those things, like to have what I've seen and the details, the raw data of what I've experienced connect to how does that make me feel? There's very few processes in place that have allowed that fusion to happen. Because as soon as that's done, I mean, you can be on a deployment and you can lose somebody in your team. And I've sadly seen this where they have to pick up the pieces of somebody, they're putting it in a body bag, and they still end up driving around with that body bag in their vehicles for a couple of days before they can even bring it back. When they bring it back, they're just sent right back out again to continue to operate. So like, I have to pay attention to what's before me. Cops and law enforcement. I finish that call, seeing whatever I see, suspicious smell, baby floating in a pool, like, things that they're going to leave you with some kind of a feels, right? You attend to it the way that you have to attend to it because I am a representative or I am here for a specific purpose. And I don't have time to let myself sit. How does Adrian, how does this individual feel about that thing? It's not even my situation. Maybe it's somebody else's situation. But you still have a right to recognize that it makes you feel a certain thing. And let yourself experience that so you can have that fusion of those two and your mind can attend to it. When you don't, that's when the acute stress disorder of experiencing a trauma starts to shift into that PTSD, because whenever something reminds me of these raw nerve endings of the details of things, or I start to feel the unconfirmed, undefined feelings that it made me feel, they're just sitting in my unconscious. I don't like that. I don't know where these things go. And so I have some kind of an avoidance response to that. I'll get angry, or I'm drinking it away, or I'm just trying to not be there, to disassociate, I shut down. I don't want to be with this thing that's causing me to feel this unresolved, unconnected confusion. So I want to keep pushing it away. That's one of the things that we try to do with police departments now, and like and a lot of the veterans that I work with, is try to give them immediate, like as close to the X as we can, connection of those two, so that they can digest it and process that. Or sometimes you get to do the hard digging and excavate those feelings that have been long since forgotten, or they haven't had a chance. Because as time and space grows, the details of the events start to warp and shift inside of my mind. And what I believe I felt for them start to change a little bit as well too. So it might be a little harder work as more time that we put between the two and bring the two together again.